The Centers for Disease Control has issued a warning about a deadly multi-state Listeria outbreak.
2 people have died, more than 2 dozen have been hospitalized. Cornelia Nicholson is here with more details. Cornelia.
David, today 2 of the Listeria cases were reported in Georgia. The Hamilton County Health Department says while Listeria isn't as common, when it does pop up, it is a cause for concern. The CDC announced a multi-state Listeria outbreak with 2 people dead and 28 hospitalized from the illness. Hamilton County Health Officer Dr. Stephen Miller says Listeria is a bacteria that can cause food poisoning.
It's kind of uncommon. It's not as common as, Salmonella and Shigella, but when it pops up, we have to be very concerned because of the problems it can create, such as what we're seeing right now.
The CDC says this deadly outbreak is linked to deli meat, with many people reporting that they've eaten meats they had sliced at deli counters. But there are no reports of people getting sick after eating packaged deli meat. Dr. Miller says the CDC is still investigating how the product is becoming contaminated. He says Listeria is commonly found when someone is not handling product properly when it comes to cooling and reheating.
It could be contaminated gloves. It could be contaminated countertops. In the case of this, since we're seeing it occur at so many locations, there's probably going to be some common source at the point of where this product is manufactured or processed.
Dr. Miller says Listeria is one of the sneakier bacteria because it could linger for weeks or months before you start showing symptoms.
But generally, we see it within 1 to 3 days, the symptoms. And it's like a really bad gastroenteritis. It's going to have vomiting, nausea, headaches, diarrhea, muscle and joint aches. It's going to have all of that.
For healthy adults, Dr. Miller says the symptoms will last a couple of days and resolve on their own. But for those under 2 years old and older than 60, the bacteria is extremely harmful.
That's usually 90 to 95% of who ends up in the hospital and unfortunately who ends up passing away from this.
He adds it's also harmful for pregnant women.
It can cause miscarriage in their child as much as 20% of the time. So that's why we're really concerned about pregnant women coming in contact with this.
And Dr. Miller says he would lean toward more getting prepackaged meats and being mindful what you get at the deli if there are people in your home that are pregnant, under 2, or over the age of 60. Now, if you had sliced deli meat at your home, the CDC says to clean the refrigerator and any containers or services that may have come into contact with the deli meat. And to remember, refrigeration does not kill the bacteria, but heat can. So avoid eating deli meat unless it's been heated until it steams or reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. David, Cindy.